Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. This is the Sigmar Stat Center, where every week we look at the event results from all around the world and we look at the different trends and the different ideas and what might be happening in competitive Age of Sigmar. This week's pretty fun. We are seeing a return of one of the big gods. Or is he a god? I don't know. We're seeing a return of all the big characters into the game all over the place, which is quite weird. The rise of Luminous Realm Lords and Kharadron Overlords as well. So that's something. Maybe the funniest list we've ever had in Age of Sigmar. Skaven list. Some spoilers there for it, but that's what it's going to be. And loads of different events, which is very cool. We have 12 events over 6 countries with 280 players this week, which is very cool. These are all from 2-day, 5-round events. So let me know what you think of any of the lists in the comments below. Don't forget, I've been making list tech videos and kind of list of the week videos over the past couple of weeks. Let me know, go back and watch them. Let me know what you think about those. Those have been pretty popular, but not as many people have seen them. So YouTube might have hidden it from you. So if you want to go find them, I especially think the Slanesh one was really fun, but I think both of them are very cool. I'm looking forward to picking one out for list of the week this week as well. So keep your eyes tuned for that. Anyway, let's dive in and let's go look at the first event. The first event that we're going to look at this week is the Renegade Open 2025 in sunny Minnesota, and Plymouth specifically, if you're excited to go. And this is organized by the Renegade Wargaming Group and Travis Winter. So if you get the chance to go to anywhere around there, if you're around Minnesota, if you're somewhere near North Dakota, I think is near there, Minnesota, I think, Ohio, maybe, I don't know. Somewhere around there. You can go make it. Anyway, this week we have 57 people battling it out at this big event. And in first place, if we take a look at the results first, kind of look at an overview, we can see that only one person went 5-0. That's Colin Jarrell with Stormcast Eternals. Then we've got 2 4s and a draw. We've got Flesh Eater Courts and Glue Spike Gits. Then in the 4-1 section, we've got Slaves to Darkness. Very exciting. Can't wait to look at that. Nighthaunt, hopefully not Pyregeist spam, but probably will be. Deepkin, probably Shark spam, but let's have a look. Cities of Sigmar could be anything. I'm excited about that. Bone Reapers have made a comeback. Ogres, Gloom Spike Gits in the mix. So double Gloom Spike. Excited. So Stormcast Eternals is our winning list. And the list is called Renegade 25's 2D Torn Reclus. I think it's French. A Colin Jarrell. I was running Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels for Stormcast. I was running Scouting Force and Restless Energy with Taunus the Redeemed. Very interesting. A reinforced unit of Reclusians. A unit of Stormdrake Guard. A unit of Vanguard Raptors with long strike crossbows, going back old school. A Lord Veritant. A reinforced unit of Prosecutors. A Quest of Soulsworn. And then a unit of Storm Coven. So quite light on the units, really. You got... for big units, you got the Stormdrake Guard, the Reclusians, the Prosecutors, and then everything else is just small supporting pieces. And then you got the long-range support from the Vanguard Raptors with long-strike crossbows. I've said it time and again, and I'll continue to say that the Stormreach Portal is probably the clutch piece that wins so many games for this army. Their ability to put stuff in reserve and deep strike means that they can secure battle tactics and also objectives when their opponent invariably moves off them. Stormreach Portal also will always give you an opportunity for teleports to drop into places which your opponent for scoring, which is the only real thing you need to do. I think that's the reason Stormcast are so strong, but this is a very unique list, which is cool. Look in the forward draws. We've got Joe Cryer with a list called Hey Yo. The name is Batty, the logic is erratic. Potato in the jacket. Toys in the attic. I rock and I ramble. My brain is scrambled. Rap like an animal, but I'm a mammal. I've been brain fried, electrified, infected and injectified. Vivisectified and fed pesticides. My face is all cut up. My radar's all shut up. Nurse, I need a checkup from the neck up. I'm batty, it seems, to have no effect, doctor. They used and abused me, battered and bruised me. Red wires, green wires, stuck them right through me. So hear my batty word and exercise a little prudence when dealing with humans. Thank you very much. That's Joe with a Flesh Eater Courts Royal Menagerie list with Intercept and Recover and Restless Energy. With an Abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Zombie Dragon, 4 Royal Terrorgeists, a Borant Ghoul King, and another Royal Zombie Dragon, and a Marrow Scroll Herald. I guess when you don't have to spend a lot of time writing lists like you don't in Age of Sigmar anymore, then you just get to spend a lot of time writing your list, which is very fun as well. Monster Mash, really good. Ghoul King on Zombie Dragon buffs the other monsters, makes them super strong, as does the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pie plates that you can just rush around the board and fight people with. Well done to Joe, 4 in a draw. Also with 4 in a draw is Daniel Thorson with a list called You Underestimate the Power of the Dark Side of the Moon, with a Gloomspite, Gitz, Trogherd list with Scouting Force and a Tuntigaran. With Scragrot, 3 reinforced units of Rockcut Troggoths, a Scourgigaran Spore Splatter Fanatics, the Drogs the Sun Chomper, some Boygrot Bounders that were reinforced, Snarlfang Riders, and 1 unreinforced unit of Sunstealer Wheelers. So what you're looking at there is 18 Rock Guts with -1 to hit thanks to Drogs the Sun Chomper, Scragrot for some spell support, and just kicking it. Congratulations to Daniel. Now in the 4 and 1 section, we've got Jack Stannick's Slaves to Darkness Tourney list, which is a God's Wrath Warband army with Inceptor and Cover Restless Energy. He's got Archeon the Everchosen. It's fair to say Archeon's making a comeback. This is the 3rd time in as many weeks we've seen Archeon see play. Chaos Knights, Reinforced, Chaos Lawn Demonic Mount, Chaos Spawn, a unit of Therodons. They're making a comeback. We've seen them recently over the past few weeks. An Exalted Hero of Chaos and Chaos Warriors. Is it true with only needing to fight on a couple of objectives in each battle plan that you are able to bring some of the god monsters back to the table? We know Alarielle features quite heavily in Sylvaneth lists, although not all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's back. It's back. I think we can declare Archeon is back. Paul Wilms was running a Nighthaunt Renegade list with Restless Energy and Master Paths in the Deathstalkers battle formation, with Guardian of Souls, a Bladegeist Revenant, Chain Ghasts, a Reinforced unit of Grimghast Reapers, a Soggy Scourgigaran Black Coach, Kurdos, some Chain Rasps, and a Reinforced unit of Craven Throne Guard. So not the Pyregeist spam. In fact, not a single Pyregeist unit in here. We have seen Bladegeist Revenants feature quite a bit, and 2 reinforced units takes up the bulk of this force. Very impactful. Very cool to see from Paul. Riley Pilchick is running a list called If Everybody Had an Ocean, ooh, across the USA, ooh, they'd be everyone be surfing, ooh, like California, ooh. You'd see me wearing their baggies, ooh, Harachi sandals, too, ooh, a bushy bush blonde hairdo, ooh, surfing USA. That's not how you sing it. Einathekin Achillean Beastmasters with Restless Energy and Master of the Paths, and an Achillean King, 2 Leviatons, that's right, an Icon of the Sea, an Eidolon Mathlan of the Sea, an Ishlen Guard unit, a Tidecaster, and some Thralls. 2 Leviatons, the King and the Aspect of the Sea making up the bulk of the army, with some faster units like the Ishlen Guard for grabbing objectives. Very fun. Very, very fun. Mike Gepper run a list called Gunpowder Reason, which is a Cities of Sigmar veteran cannoneers list with Primal Energy, and running the battle tactics. Where are they? Are they put on here? I think they're missing. Anyway, Talia Vedra, interesting. Frigo Cavalier Marshal, even more interesting. Frigo Cavaliers that were reinforced. Fusel Major and Ogre Warhawk, Triple Great Cannon, Pontifex Sinestra, some Frigo Fusiliers, and a Battle Mage. Fantastic. Okay. So not the soggy Pontifex. So that's kind of gone by the wayside. A unit of Fusiliers, and then Talia is a very interesting take. However, obviously, we've got to make sure we point out the fact that this list also has Bundo to the wall, Bundo Whalebiter. Everyone's second favorite Gargant after a dead one. Yeah, that's right. Hit me up with some bundos in the comments, please. Bundo! Great. Cities, even though they took a big hit in the battle scroll, I still think are very playable. They have lots of choices. Great seeing Talia on the board. Excellent list. Very cool. Very cute. Bill Swiden was running a list called Is This Too Many Morghasts?, which is an Ossiarch Bone Reaper Mortars and Council list with Restless Energy and Scepter Recover, with a Soul Mason, a reinforced unit of Archai, a reinforced unit of Harbingers, a unit of Soggy Mortek Guard, an Ossifector, a Crawler, and the Regiment of Renown, the Skyport Profiteers. Very cool. I think the Harbingers are infantry. I'm going to just say that that's true. I'm pretty certain it's true. So excellent. No, it's not too many. I've seen 15 more guests in the list. I think that was the max. Devon Moan was running a list called Definitely Not a Beastman List, which is an Ogre Mortrized Prophets of the Gulping God battle formation with Intercept and Recover and Wrathful Cycles with a Butcher, a Reinforced unit of Gluttons, a Reinforced unit of Gluttons, and two unreinforced units of Ogre Gluttons, a Reinforced unit of Gluttons, and then a Firebelly, a unit of Noblars, and 2 Gorge and Maw packs. 2 Gorge and Maw packs. Fascinating. For the deep strikes at the back of the board, and then just a bunch of bellies running forward. This is wild. A Firebelly as well in 2025. That's a crazy list that did so well. Well done. And then finally, Matt Casper. Matt Casper was running a list called a Gitz Classic, with a Gloomspike Gitz list with a Squigalanch, with a Tune to Ground and Master the Paths, with Scragrot, 2 reinforced units of Rock Guts, a Squig Boss with Nash the Squig, some Boigrot Bounders, 2 reinforced Squig Herd units, Drogs to Sun Chomper, a Doom Diver, and an unreinforced unit of Sun Sealer Wheelers. It's also worth noting it's an unreinforced unit because with that update they got in the Battle Scroll to be able to move in your opponent's turn, a unit of 4 feels like a no-brainer, especially when it can cost 240 points. But instead, a Doom Diver in the list as well. Wow. Okay. So I wouldn't say, I think everything makes a lot of sense. There was nothing out here, apart from maybe a Cities list, and Archeon making a return, which is kind of our hot takes from this week. More Archeon returning is crazy. And Archeon's a big hobby challenge, so, that's quite interesting. Nighthaunt was nice and diverse. Deepkin had double turtle, so that's incredibly fun. Bone Reapers was going back to kind of an older build with Archive, when what we've been seeing is a lot of spammed Necropolis Stalkers, so that's different as well. Ogres is just straight crazy as a result, so that's really interesting. 7 Terrorgeists are running around, and a very unique and old school Stormcast list. Seems like a great event, and very interesting as to what sees play at the moment. Our next event takes us to France, Francais, for La Tour Sud-Estara, Fez Aller. But unfortunately, this is a team event located around Chazé d'Arzajos. Perfect. Won by Wanek Warclan. Although I don't tend to cover team events. I've been asked this a lot. Why do I not cover team events? Team events, by their nature, have more skewed lists. Not always, but they can tend to have more skewed lists because you can guarantee a pairing. When you're trying to go to a normal event, what you're trying to do is you're trying to build the best all-comers list you can to take on as many people, as many armies as possible. In a team event, you can build a list that's more skewed, it has more weaknesses, so that when you do the pairings, you can be like, well, obviously we're never going to pair this army into that army. It will automatically lose. So you end up with a big difference, and so I don't cover them, mainly not to pollute my own brain with what's happening. Now, team event Warhammer is super fun. Loads of people enjoy it, and it's really cool. In France, they have a seasonal team, a bunch of team events, which is fun. But team events also are quite a privileged thing for many people, in that you need enough people to be able to play in a team. Many people don't have that. They don't have a big community locally, or maybe they're just getting into the hobby and so they don't know enough people to build a team. So I cover singles events because I think it's the most open to the most people playing as possible. This doesn't mean that team events aren't fun. This doesn't mean team events aren't really cool. And I personally think that they're really cool. They're really, really fun. But that's why I don't cover them. Just thought I'd bring that up because it kind of brings in some murky kind of like noisy data. And in addition, I think that it ostracizes a group of people out of the hobby in as well. So bunch of different reasons, but congratulations to Wyonic Warclan for winning the event. Our next event is the Kerfuffle at the Shuffle GT edition, which took place in CA in the United States, organized by Ian McLeish. This is in Brie, so if you get the chance to go to Brie, somewhere around here, at a venue called The Realm Games and Comics. So this is at Brie, California. So if you're somewhere around this region, then seems like a cool place to go play some games. Organized, like I said, by Ian McLeish. We have Carriage on Overlords and Skaven in the 5-0 section, undefeated. Then we've got Stormcast Eternals, Seraphon, Slaves to Darkness, Hedonites and Ash, all in the 4-1 section. A special shout out to Tom Guan making a return to competitive Age of Sigmar. Very exciting time for all of us. If you don't know, one of the most successful Age of Sigmar players we've ever had. So, Kyle Callip was running a list called I Wanted to Play Chorfs, a Kharadron Overlords Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force list with Attuned to Ground and Wrathful Cycles, with an Admiral, an Archanaut company that were reinforced, an Ironclad and Engine Master with Engine Harness, some Gunstruck Thunderers, then a Null Chemist, 2 Vongrim Harpoon crew, a Code Right, and 2 reinforced units of Vongrim Salvagers. And then the Zontari Endrin Dock, which is also nice to see as well. So, obviously, since the Battle Scroll update, KO have fallen off in how many people are playing them. But when people like Kyle, who's an excellent player, do still play them, they can have fantastic results, as you can see here. So well done to Kyle. Moving on to Skaven, we can see E. Pryor running a list called Jar Jar Bot, Help Me Feel Something. Misa think this big list of Skaven things will work. User got Thanquol's mutated menagerie. Okie day. Weezer talking about Intercept and Recover, Restless Energy, and Twilight Sorceries Bombard. The Grand General, Thanquol on Bone Ripper, doing his thing, and user got 1 Help It Abomination. A Master Molder, he's a Pat Master with Warpstone innards. He's got 1 Brood Terror, a soggy version, a Help Pot Abomination, a Help Pot Abomination. Oh, and another Master Molder. He's doing more. 1 Brood Terror, soggy version, and 2 Help Pot Abominations. So in total, this list is 5 Help It Abominations, 2 Brood Terrors, 2 Master Molders, and Thanquol. In what is also an insane list. This is, I think, the most insane way a list has been delivered, and maybe the most insane list of Age of Sigmar. And it went, let me just check, 5-0. This might be a slam dunk list of the week, correct? Then a guy called Mad Lad Puto has got a list. Which is called Chris Chan Hit Though, which is a Stormcast Eternals Ruination Brotherhood list with an Army of Renown and then a Restless Energy and Wrathful Cycles with a Soggy Iridan the Witness, 2 Questal Soulsworn, a Lord Vigilant on Griftstalker, another Questal Soulsworn unit, double Reinforced Reclusion, so 2 units, a Lord Veritan, some Liberators, and some Vigilers. You could have invested in those Reclusions at the start of Age of Sigmar 4, and they are still slapping to this day. Obviously, those cheap Liberators coming in. We haven't seen the much prophesized 1 million Liberators, which is apparently something we're seeing. But we have seen some of those key units, like Quest of Soulsworn, make it into lists now that we've moved away from the big monster meta of last year. So that's pretty exciting. So congratulations. Then we've got Brian Horton, who's got a list called Seraphon is in such a bad state this GHB. The only options are to either run it down mid or run as few Seraphon models as possible. I won't score any battle tactics, but hey, neither will you. If the GHB is going to encourage us to stand around and do nothing and not interact with our opponents, then I'm going to stand around and do nothing harder than anyone else. I will stand so still on these circles and not interact, but I know what I do is an act of protest against these decided directions. This is a Seraphon Sunclaw Starhost list with Master of the Paths Wrathful Cycles, which has got Lord Croak, a unit of Hunter Haunchy with Dark Pipes, an Ashros Banner Bearer, and a unit of Saurus Warriors. And then we have a Sunblood Pack, a unit of Croxigal Warp Spawned, 2 units of Saurus Warriors, and then the Regiment of Renown, the Skyport Profiteers, which, as we know, I covered in last week's. If you haven't watched it yet, I made a video last week which is covering the Regiments of Renown. I cover it in there, so go check it out. Croak stands around really well, and I guess the Warriors do the same. They go stand on some circles, and Croxigal Warpspawn go slam something. Thanks, Brian, for the manifesto. I agree with you aggressively. Tom Guan was running a list called, oh my God, please let me win this salsa competition. which was Slaves to Darkness, Champions of Chaos, with Incept and Recover and Restless Energy, with Archeon the Ever-Chosen making a massive return, a Centurion Marshal, a unit of Chaos Knights with a Dread Banner, then Be'lakor in a slam dunk Be'lakor Archeon fisty fight, Eternus, a Chaos Lord Demonic Mount, all fighting it out. That's right, Archeon is super, super back. Congratulations to Tom. And then we got Aaron Newbomb with a list called Quirked Up White Boy Goated with the Source, which is a Hedonites of Sinesh Invaders list with Master of Pass and Incept and Recover, with Shalaxi Hellbane, a reinforced unit of Bliss Barb Archers, some Demonettes, 2 soggy reinforced units of Slangor Fiend Bloods, which we covered on our Sinesh list last week. Go check it out. List of the week from last week. It was the Sinesh list with Sigvald, Lord of Pain, and 2 Twin Souled units. Interestingly, this does not have Glutos or Scullion, and instead we've gone for a Shalaxi build. Very different. Shout out to New Bomb. That's wild. Yeah, this might be the most fun event I've ever seen. These guys are great, and I hope they continue to keep having great events and be a great community, because they are. Next up, we're going to Sweden for the Fantasia Fanatic 25, 28. I don't know. Anyway, organized by Fantasia North, which is in the northern part of Sweden. It's a fantastic event. It's been going for a long time. It's got lots of different events. It's very cool, very great. If you get the chance to go, it's a lovely, lovely event. So Fantasia Fanatic, and we've got one undefeated. That's Albin running Lumineth Realm Lords. And then we have in the 4-1 section, Nighthaunt, Gloomspite Gitz, Slaves to Darkness again. Are we about to see Archeon again? And then with Flesh Eater Courts, Ocearch Bone Reapers, Stormcast Eternals. Okay, looking at Albin's list, he's running a Lumineth Realm Lord Scenari Council list with Master Pass and Restless Energy. Then we've got Severith, a Light Valtharian, the soggy one, an Enlightener, reinforced unit of Blade Lords, and a small unit of Blade Lords. Then Eleanor and Elithor, a Lore Seeker, and then Callus and Toll Toll's companions in the Regiment of Renown. So it doesn't look like a lot on paper, but it is a huge hero hammer list that can do a lot with the Blade Lords in there. Super impactful. And then you've got incredibly fast units like Severith that can go grab parts of the board. Congratulations to Albin for doing so well. If we look at Marcus Pearson's list, he's running a list called Boohoo, which is a Nighthaunt Quicksilver Geese list with Restless Energy and Scouting Force. And it's got Lady Alinda, reinforced unit of Bladegeist Revenants, reinforced unit Grimghast Reapers, kind of mirroring what we saw earlier in the double reinforced infantry blocks. Some Dreadscythe Harridans, Kurtos Valentine, Mimron Banshees, and the Spirit Hosts. And then we've got Cruel Gas Cruciator in the list as well. So Nighthaunt are just very good at doing the job that everyone doesn't want to do, which is standing around on circles. Well done. Per Sigvalis was running a list called Return of the Squig, which is a Gloomspite Gitz Squig Alliance list with Master Paths and Restless Energy, with Drogs to Sunchomper, a reinforced unit of Rockguts Trogoths, and 2 Snarlpack Cavalry, and a reinforced unit of Sunstealer Wheelers. Then a Squig Boss, 2 units of Boingrot Bounders, a Scourge Grand Spore Splatter Fanatics, Loon Boss and Manglers, and some Boingrot Bounders as well. Finally, people cottoned on that Boingrot Bounders are super cheap. We've been talking about that for a long time. We talked about that before they got the recent points reduction, I'm going to say, which I do not understand why they got that. Fantastic. So Gits are right up there, but they are not oppressive. That's worth talking about. Jim Svensson was running a list called the Frostbound, which is a Slaves to Darkness Champions of Chaos list with Restless Energy and Wrathful Cycles, with Chaos Lord and Demonic Mount, some Chaos Knights, and then a Dark Earth War Queen, some Dark Earth Marauders, some Dark Earth Savages, some Dark Earth Fell Riders. None of these are reinforced. And then a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, an Exalted Hero of Chaos, and then a reinforced unit of Chaos Chosen and a reinforced unit of Chaos Warriors, really burying the lead on the key units here, which is 900 points of 3-up armor save quality units, and then a bunch of chaff running around, so that's cool. Then Craig Turner was running a list called Vampires Hungry, Skulls Are Crunchy, Sword Go Clang. We forgot the plan. Big Bats yelling, got no praying, Wizard in the big seat, will I win? Fantastic. Great work, Craig. Even got the emojis in there. Excellent. Then we got a Flesh Eater Courts Impassioned Serfs list, with Incept and Recover and Restless Energy. We got Usharan, Crypt Horrors, Crypt Guard, Good King on Terrorgeist, Crypt Guard Reinforce, Royal Zombie Dragon, and a Abhorrent Art Region, and a Charnel Throne. So 2 big monsters. Lots of smaller, like light infantry, like the Crypt Guard and the Crypt, like the double Crypt Guard, and then the Crypt Horrors as well for another punchy unit, and then a third monster, and also a great list name. Shout out to Craig, superstar. And then we've got Jesper Melenda with a list called Old Good Times, which is an OCR Bone Reapers, Mortars, and Council list with a Tunity Grand Intercept and Recover, with Catacross and a reinforced unit of Mortec Guard, Soul Reaper, another unit of Mortec Guard that reinforced, some Necropolis Stalkers that reinforced, Double Crawlers, and Vault Martian. So Jesper started 4th edition, doing incredibly well with a bunch of Mortec Crawlers early on. These Necropolis Stalkers are now in because they seem to be a hyper-efficient, cheap choice that we're seeing. Catacross making a return is good. We have seen Catacross sometimes making it out, being replaced by Arcan in some recent lists. Mortec Guard also have had a kind of like re-emergence. Mortec Guard and Gothazar Harvesters, not that Mortec Guard are in here, but no Harvester. Have also made a comeback as well. Whether or not people still want to play with them, but they are pretty good. And lastly, we've got Anton Shrek Sandstrom, which is a big, scary Stormcast Eternal Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels list with Restless Energy and Wrathful Cycles, with Ionis Cryptborn, Warden of Lost Souls, then a unit of Prosecutors that reinforced, a Lord Celestial Stardrake in 2025, some Vigilers, and then a Scourging Grand Iridan the Witness, a Night Vexilla, some Liberators, and Taunus Redeemed as well. So if you look, there's only really 3 punchy units, I guess. I don't really believe that Iridan the Witness, even the soggy version, is that punchy. But Celestial Stardrake, Prosecutors, and Ionis Cryptborn have got to do a lot of work. But you can take a large portion of the board. You've got fast units, you've got long charging units, you've got teleporting units. Stormcast is an interesting army that's got a lot of play, actually. Hope everyone had a great time in this Swedish event. Swedish community is fantastic. Hope to see it keep growing from strength to strength. Our next event takes us to Canada for the Garden City Slaughter event organized by Josh Aikens. Thanks, Josh, for doing it and being a great member of your community. Looks like it took place in St. Catharines at this fantastic hotel, which is right next to a Sky Zone trampoline park, which the chat have reliably informed me is an incredibly dangerous activity. I've never been trampolining, so let me know if you have and if you enjoyed it or if it was safe. I'm trampoline curious, but I've been told a lot of horror stories, so now I'm a little bit concerned. Anyway, let's go look at the results, shall we? Because that's what we're really here for. I'd rather go into Takeshi's Castle. That's true. Okay, so in the undefeated section, we have Connor with Kharadron Overlords. Chat, that makes it twice now. We've seen Kharadron Overlords this week dominate. They're still cooking. Then we've got Inet Deepkin, Soulblight Gravelords, Flesh Eater Courts again, OCR Bone Reapers in what is like a death takeover, which is pretty aggressive. So, wow. Incredible. Okay, if we go and look at the results, we see Kharadron V8 is Connor Mitchell's list name. He's running the Magnates Crew Battle Formation with Master Pass and Restless Energy. We've got Brock, a Frigate, a reinforced unit of Skywardens, reinforced Harpoon Crew, and a reinforced unit of Salvagers. They've got a Null Chemist, a Scourging Garand Grudstruck Gunhauler, and a reinforced unit of Harpoon Crew as well. So 4 reinforced units, a Frigate, and also a Gunhauler. That's a lot of bodies on the board and a lot of output, especially in melee from things like the Salvagers, Harpoon Crew. So they've got to be really cautious about that. Well done to Connor. They've got Mark Polinsky running a list called Baby Shark, which is an Inet Deepkin 8th Sea Predators list with Scouting Force and Master the Paths. We've got an Icon of the Storm, an Achillean Alapex, 4 Alapexes, and then an Oracle of the Abyss, another Alapex, a Leviathan, and then a reinforced unit of Morsar Guard. So 5 sharks, a turtle, a unit of 6 eels, and 2 characters running around. That's a lot of board presence, especially for the ACC Predators, bringing that unit back from the dead. They've got Jen Enns running a list called A1 Hero Mash, which is a Soulblight Gravelord's Bacchanal Blood list with Restless Energy and Master Paths. With Neferata, a unit of Varghese, Prince Vordry, Radikar the Beast and some Kasagi Night Guard, a Vampire Lord and some Skeletons, then a Vengori Lord, and some Varghests. So you are looking at 4 pretty punchy heroes. And then we have some other little units for going grabbing some objectives. That's very fun. Well done, John. Then we've got Jake Sugin was running a list called The Lord Will Deliver Me from KO and Sean Brow. Don't think that worked out. Which is a Flesh Eater Course Royal Hunt list with Restless Energy and Master the Paths with Usharan, a High Falcon, a Felgrin, and 3 units of Beast Flayers. Then a Boron King Royal Terrorgeist, some Crypt Guard that were reinforced, 2 units that were reinforced, and then we've got Royal Zombie Dragon. We've got Royal Zombie Dragon. So 3 big monsters, lots of infantry on the board. Are we playing Hero Hammer? That's a great question. You have to have heroes for regiments. So the list building basically creates Hero Hammer no matter what you do. I build a unit, I build a hero, and then I take 4 units. Before I can take another unit, I just have to take a hero. So you see a lot of heroes. Matt Roy was running a list called 3 Monta with Arch Defense, which is a Flesh Eater Courts Royal Menagerie list with Master the Pass and Restless Energy. With Usharan, Reinforced Unit of Crypt Ghouls, Reinforced Unit of Crypt Guard, and then a Royal Zombie Dragon. And then a Boron Ghoul King of Royal Terrorgeist, a Boron Arc Regent, and 2 units of Beast Flayers. So more monsters, more Beast Flayers. Flesh Eater Courts doing really well this week. And finally, Sean Nolan was running a list called, I didn't forget that I owned OBR, Bone Daddies Are My Ride or Die. Oh, there we go. I think that's in reference to me saying that people forgot that they had their OBR and they just remembered to bring them out. Sean has been using them as Ride and Die forever. So shout out to Sean. Great work. Running OCR Bone Reapers and Mortars in Council. He's got Restless Energy and Wrathful Cycles as battle tactics. And we've got Catacross, Reinforced Unit of Immortis Guard, 2 Reinforced Unit of Stalkers, as we've talked about, incredibly efficient at the moment, but some Death Riders, which we have not seen in a moment. Mortars and Soul Reaper, another Mortars and Soul Reaper in this list. Very cool. Very, like, a nice, different take on what we've seen for OBR. Death Riders in there and Immortis Guard, but those Necropolis Stalkers have also been pretty clutch, and Catacross in there. Very cool. Well done to Sean for keeping them as your ride or die. That's fantastic. Love to see it. So, yeah, I think the one takeaway here is KO still at the top. That's something we can't ignore. But then we've got Deepkin, which have also done really well this week. And we've got more Death factions kicking it. Flesh Eater Court, Soulblight, and Osiarch. So there's been some really interesting stories this week so far. Congratulations to everyone at this event. Our next event takes us to Italy. Well, I won't be doing any, it's me, Rob, from Italy. I won't be doing any Italian accent. Shout out to all the Italian players in the chat. We got this event was organized by Luca. Shout out to Luca for being a great hero to your community. Also, a special shout out to Francesco for sending me a bunch of cool pics. You can see everyone in the Italian community, or this part of the Italian community, all got together, which is super cute. They wanted me to know that it was a sunny day with a spa in the hotel where they were playing. There was fresh food available, and it was incredibly tasty. Here is the room in which they were playing. Looks very nice. Very, very cool. Very, very good. And we've even got a picture of, as you can see here, someone who's about to do a Hand of Dust while wearing a they prepared a Grim Reaper mask for their Hand of Dust on a Great Unclean one. And boom. Unfortunately, you can see the Great Unclean. I hate that ability. I'm on record as saying it's my least favorite ability in Age of Sigmar. But shout out to everyone for sending me the pics and the videos. That's always great. It's lovely to see people having a fun time. Right, if we go and look at the actual results, so we can see that in first place we've got LRL. So it's just put Kharadron Overlords and Lumineth Realm Lords in that kind of like constant 5-0 position this week. So something we should be conscious of. We've got Fire Slayers, Nighthaunt, Blades of Corn. First time we've seen those, which is nice. First time we've seen Fire Slayers. Also, Hellsmiths of Ashut and Maggotkin of Nurgle, all at the Dice Tower GT. So if we start looking at the results, we can look at Stefano Bruno, who won the event with, my list went up nearly 200 points, so I had to replace CNT with Riverblades. Which is an Lumineth Realm Lord Scenari Council list with Incept and Recover and Master Pass. With Severith, Ellen and Elathor, 2 reinforced units of Blade Lords, a Scenari Enlightener, a Scenari Calathar, some Riverblades, and then a Scourge of Gran Light of Eltharion in the list as well. So as I said during that update, I really do think LRL are one of the best armies in the game. You just got to play with them. Stefano has obviously done that. That's great work. Ambrosio Ficini was running a list called Vesuvio Lavalli Cul Fuoco, permesso by Tio Luca G. There you go. Which is a Fire Slayers Scale of Volcatrix list. I apologize if I said something offensive in Italian. I didn't mean to. With Master Pass and Intercept and Recover. With an Auric Runefather on Magmadroth, 3 units of Vulcan Flameseekers, and Scourge of Garan on Auric Runestone on Magmadroth, where there is 3 of those and a Rune Master. So 4 Magmadroths, 3 units of Flame Seekers in the list. Very, very cool. Congratulations to Ambrogio. Nice to see Fire Slayer still in there. Enrico was running a list called Porcelli Verderame, which is a Night Haunt Deathstalkers list with the Tuned to Gran and Scouting Force. With the Linda, Mimron Banshees, I'm going to say 5 units of Pyregeists, a Night Shrouds, and 2 reinforced units of Mimron Banshees, and some Chain Gas and Kurdos as well. So those Pyregeists still just highly efficient. Loads of Hero Hammer in here as well. That's very good. Then we've got Salvatore Piscopi running a list called Solo Sanguni, which is a Blazecorn Baleful Lords list, which is the 5 Thirster list, which everyone loves. The 5 Thirster list running around. 5 Bloodthirsters, smashing face. Raphael Hung was running a list called Tank, which was a Hellsmiths of Ashut, Tar's Grand Forge Host, Army of Renown. Unbelievable. Because I personally believe them to be unplayable. So this is Insect to Recover and Master Pass with Uruk Tar. 3, which makes even less sense because I don't think you generate demonic power points, do you? No, and then you got 2 Deathstreaker rocket batteries, 2 Tormentor bombards, an Ashen Elder, 3 Infernal Cohorts with Hashitite Spears, and then an Ashen Elder, and then 2 units of 20 Infernal Cohort with Hashitite Spears. Yes, it's the Spears that generate them. So there you go. That's what happens. You use the Spears to generate demonic power points, and then because the main battle trait isn't in effect, you can no longer remove them like you normally would do. So you could potentially have a bunch of dudes, quite cheap dudes actually, with 5-up ward saves in here, which is pretty interesting. Or you can use Uruk Tar to move them between the different units as well. And you've got some long-range supports. You've got a lot of bodies on the board here. You've got 60, 80 health on the board. 80 health on the board there, which potentially could get 5-up ward saves. Which is very cool. And then Alessio Rossi was running a list called La Coppa del Nono, which is a Magikin and Nurgle Plague Sith list with a Tuntic and Raffle Cycles, with a Soggy Rotagus, 2 reinforced unit of Blight Kings, and a small unit of Blight Kings, and a Harbinger Decay, and the Godsmark Ascendant, the Demon Prince in here with the Corpulent Avalanche for the Mortals, Impact Hits, and the Rust Fang. So I talked about that in the Regiments video last week. Shout out to Alessio. Very cool. Very fun to see. I really like the Hellsmiths list. That's fun. Using that ROR. 5 Thirsters, great to see. Fun. That's definitely cool. Nurgle is cool. LRL, super powerful. Great time. Amazing community. I hope you continue to have a great time. Our next event takes us to the Standoff 2025 in Portland, Maine, which genuinely feels like it might be the best state. No offense to other states. Looks like a great state. It's very cool. Anyway, it was organized by David Atherton. So shout out for being an amazing member of your community, as well as Eric Kent, Nicholas Shaw, Oliver Breeden, Stephen Maddox, and William York. Congratulations to all you. If we go look at the results, we can see that Dylan Thoreau with Cities of Sigmar is our OD undefeated, continuing Dylan's run of doing a fantastic job of being an Age of Sigmar player for the past couple of years. And then we got Wyatt with Slaves to Darkness. Can't be another Archeon, otherwise we lose it. Nighthorn, Carriage and Overlords. Again, they're doing so well this week. Magikin of Nurgle, all in the list. So let's take a look, shall we? So Dylan was running a list called Dawn Breaks on My Kingdom. All the light touches belong to me, Prince and Emperor. A Grand Alliance, Cities Sigmar, Dawnbringer Crusade list with a Tuntigaran and Wrathful Cycles. We've got Pontifex Sinestra, but not the soggy version. 2 Free Guild Command Corps. 2 Scourge of Grand Free Guild Cavaliers that were reinforced to the soggy versions. That's a lot. That's 20 knights. A Sorceress, an Assassin, reinforced unit of Executioners, a Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, and then a Fusel Major on Ogre Warhawk. So no cannons is pretty crazy. 20 Cav, Executioners, which have started to make a comeback because pre the big buffs that the Cities of Sigmar got in the summer of 2025. Realistically, the only way you could play with Cities of Sigmar was with Dwarves and Elves. And then you saw some upgrades and you saw some different Cav options, Free Guild Command Corps, a lot of points reductions, so you see more play. Now, with the points increases, you can see the move back to some of those more efficient choices. Congratulations to Dylan. Wyatt Trainer was running a list called 9% of my list I come up with on the toilet, and this is no exception. This is a Slaves to Darkness, God's Wrath Warband list with God's Wrath Warband list with Inceptor and Covenant Wrathful Cycles, with a soggy Abraxia, reinforced unit of Chaos Chosen, a unit of Chaos Knights that reinforced as well, some Therodons. Chat, they're back. Therodons again, Chaos Sorcerer Lord, a Chaos Chariot, and a unit of Chaos Warriors. So Warriors just hold an objective. Warriors are objectively an annoying unit to get rid of. 20 health on a 3-up save. Just stood there. It's super frustrating. That is a tough nut to crack. Same as the Chaos Knights for 500 points. Chosen or Slap Anything. Abraxia super solid as well. Well done to Wyatt. Then we've got Oscar Savastio running a list called 412 Writing on the Walls, which is a Deathstalker's Nighthaunt list with Restless Energy and Scouting Force, with Guardian Souls, Chain Rasp, and just a ton of Pygeists. So many in there. Then we've got Brock and Roll. Chris Collins was running a KO list, Pioneers and Scavengers battle formation with Master of Paths and Restless Energy. With Brock, some Skywardens that were 2 units that were reinforced, 2 unreinforced units of Volgrim Salvagers, Endrin Master with Endrin Harness, an Arcanaut Company, an Ironclad, and a Harpoon crew. And then there's Antari Endrin dock as well. Well done to Chris. That's great. And then Matt Carter with a list called Standoff, which is a Magic and Nurgle Plagueis list, with Wrathful Cycles, Restless Energy, with Rotigus, 2 reinforced unit of Putrid Blight Kings, a Lord of Afflictions, a Puscicle Blight Lord, a Puscicle Blight Lords, only one of them, and then Orgot's Demon Spew. Interestingly, we've seen the move away from the spammed Lord of Afflictions, which we haven't seen in a couple of weeks. So very, very interesting. We've also got some pictures from the event and what seems to be, I don't know, like this picture of a bunch of slam poets that also somehow play Warhammer. We've got a bunch of absolute legends. So I'm going to continue to say, great work, guys. Keep being yourselves because you're the best. Our last event takes us to England for the Garan Resistance, organised by Tim Davey and Langdon Games. Langdon Games is a game store that you can find in Ipswich. If you'd like to go, seems like a great little place. Loads of amenities nearby. Ipswich, England. If you get the chance to go, please do. I'm sure all local gaming stores can do with the support. And I'm sure these are a great group of people. Tim's great, so there we go. So if we take a look at the results, we've only got 150, no 4-1s, and that's Seb Ducker with Flesh Eater Courts. Seb was running a list called Oh, That's Fecked Up, which was a Flesh Eater Courts Royal Menagerie list with Master of Paths and Wrathful Cycles, a Boron Ghoul King, a Royal Terrorgeist, 3 Royal Terrorgeist, a Zombie Dragon, and a Boron Ghoul King on Zombie Dragon, a Royal Decapitator, and a Zombie Dragon as well. All pie plates, all the time, smash face, go have fun. So that's everything that we've got from this week. Gotta say, it feels like Kharadron Overlords and Lumineth Realm Lords had a big showing this week, really kind of settling themselves on that top meta. Goosebite Gits, though, was still in the mix. We saw no Cruel Boys, which I think is really interesting. They were missing. No Iron Jaws. The Auric Warclans book was missing. That doesn't mean that we didn't see them last week or the week before. They've had some strong showings. They just weren't showing up this week. Loads of different flavors of both Flesh Eater Courts and also Ossiarch Bone Reapers in the mix as well. And Nighthaunt still propped up by those Pyregeists. However, different builds were also available there. So you can see quite a few different armies. We saw Deepkin also popping around and having a good time. Different cities builds I thought was interesting. We saw a 5 Thirster list, Slanesh, some rare little flavorings and smatterings of them. No Tzeentch, but Tzeentch featured pretty heavily last week, so they were in a good spot. We saw Stormcast, obviously, doing really well in a bunch of different ones. Archeon feels really back, or Slaves to Darkness generally. Like Archeon featured in quite a few lists, but we also saw, Chosen also smashing it back on those tables as well. So that was interesting. A supreme lack of lots of Skaven, although we obviously had some pretty funny Skaven lists locking around. So it does feel like that there was lots of different armies. No Sons of Behemoth, fantastic. There was lots of different armies that saw play, which I thought was really cool. So I really enjoyed that. And I think the game is pretty broad right now, because this week feels very different to last week, and last week felt very different to the week before. So it feels like it's who turns up and what they play with has a big impact, which is kind of what you want a meta to be, in that it's not confusing, it's inconsistent. Inconsistent means that there's a lot of variety, and I think that's really positive as well. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we're also going to see a bunch of Christmas updates like we saw with the Scourge of Garan updates. Maybe not as many. Let me know in the comments below if you would like as many, like if you'd like as many as we saw in the summer, or if you'd like, a couple of regiments around or something quite interesting. Either way, thank you to everyone on Patreon for helping support what I do. Next year, you should be seeing a lot of bat reps starting to emerge from the TSN arena. We've almost got the bat rep room set up, so that's super exciting as well. I'll keep you updated when that happens. Thanks for watching all my videos. Go back and check out all the lists of the week videos I've been doing. Hopefully you enjoyed those. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.